Welcome to the HomeBrew Podcast with your hosts, Kevin McDermott, Eric Alanese, and Chris Ruth, discussing movies, beer, and everything in between. Let's get weird.
Tell me why I never wanna feel this way. Ooh, I'd like to be gay.
You were gonna say suck dick.
I said Subway.
I thought you were like, I like to suck.
All right.
I like to eat Subway.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, take it away.
Chris.
All right. This is season 2, episode 1 of the HomeBrew Podcast with special guest Bird.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
Kaka. It's going good. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you
Awesome,
for
man.
coming on
Thanks for
the
being
show.
on.
No problem.
It's been a little bit of a break for us, right?
Been
Yeah.
about 2 weeks.
Kevin went out of town for a little bit. I feel like I needed a break from the podcast.
Yeah, we're just tired of each other. Is that the truth?
No, we still hung out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just didn't do
We
a
rode
podcast.
go-karts. We made drink. It was a good
We
time.
just didn't want, I guess because we do the podcast on every Friday, so I just felt like, man, I just want to drink and not have to do the podcast here and there. You know,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
How long
Time for
does
a
it generally take y'all to edit it all down?
When we were doing about 3-hour-long freaking sessions, it was taking me about like 3 hours to edit. But if we keep it to where like an hour and 15 minutes and then, hit stop, then I would say about an hour and 30 minutes to edit.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
I've
but-
only edited like 2 episodes, but I took like...
And they're both good episodes that we like. Kevin's all on the ball. He's like, stop talking about shit.
And Danny's like, let's wrap it up, guys. We're done here. Let's close this out.
But I take way longer to edit though, because I like sit there and I'll like watch the episode and then like play it again, and I play the whole thing and I have to cut out parts and slow things down. I don't know. I don't think I have as good of a
Workflow.
as you do with
Yeah.
video. I'll get there one day.
It's just the more you do it, the
Yeah.
weddings and stuff, like I fucking.
I'm working on a wedding video right now, and it's taking me like way too long to edit it. Like I sat there today, I was like, this is looking really good, and I went and hit play, and it played like a minute, and I was like, okay, I got like 20 more of these to go.
From Parks and Rec when Ben was doing Requiem for a Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
He spent like 2 weeks doing it. And it's
little
like 30
claymation.
seconds.
Yeah, that whole claymation thing. That's my workflow when it comes to video. I thought it looked so good.
Dude, when
I
first
compared
edited-
this to Avatar. Have y'all ever tried those overlays for the keyboard?
No, I thought about getting one time. They're
Yeah.
pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, my friend uses one. She works at a news station. I just see her plop that thing down over the Mac keyboard. She just jumps straight into
Dude,
it.
it'd be nice for Photoshop because I used to use Photoshop all the fucking time. Back when I used to do like the conceptual photography and stuff, or like skin retouching, or just editing stuff out, or editing stuff in general. I hardly get in Photoshop now. So when I do find myself getting in there, like if I'm editing a wedding and there's like some annoying shit in the background and it's a portrait, I was like, I need to take that out. I was like, taking it to Photoshop, and I'm just like, how do I use this again? Like,
You have
Control
to
J,
click all the same buttons on the
copy.
side instead of using shortcuts.
And then it starts coming back to me, but then I'm like, what is this short? And I have to Google it. I'm like, fuck, dude. So if I just had like something to just look at, it'd be so much easier,
Yeah.
Man, what's even worse than Photoshop is After Effects, dude. I had to go into there
Oh yeah.
like a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, what the fuck? And that's because my daughter wants a computer to run After Effects for Christmas because she wants to like edit videos, but like YouTube videos or something. And I'm like, dude, After Effects is not easy. She's like, I watched YouTube videos how to do it. I'm like, trust me, it's so hard. So I told her this coming week, she can borrow my laptop, do what she wants with After Effects, and then after a week, tell me what you want. 'Cause that shit
It's gonna
is
change.
fucking hard, like just for the basics. Anyways, as Kevin would say,
I digress. What beers are we drinking? Because there's several beers on this table.
Kevin brought Odd Side Contradiction. Bird, you brought that, right? Bird brought, ooh, baby.
Bombshell Blonde.
That looks good. Has a chick riding a freaking
Bombshell.
bombshell, but...
Or a bomb.
And then Chris, he's very Christian. He brought a church beer called St. Arnold, Art Car Bach.
These are actually right next to each other at Stripes.
That's where I picked it up from the Stripe.
That's
Oh,
funny.
you guys went to Stripes to pick up your beer?
If you put them next to
Okay.
each other, they're looking at
But
each
I
other.
brought some beers back from Colorado, all the way on an airplane,
All right, throw that in my face, why don't you?
from,
Yeah.
from the Blue Moon Distillery. They're just in the freezer right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
cooling down.
Yeah, we need to...
Yeah, not forget that way they don't explode.
yeah, for real.
Oh, yeah, we don't...
On top of that, though,
How long can they be in there?
they're playing. There's
Yeah,
liquor,
they-
there's alcohol in there, so it'll take a while. to
They were
freeze.
warm, so as long as we'll get them in a bit.
On top of that, we have the return of peanut butter whiskey.
It was a favorite of others last time.
Peanut butter whiskey, yeah, but this one's a different brand. It's
Squirrel.
made out of squirrel shit. And we also have. I'll let Bird introduce this because I can't even say that if I want to.
I'll probably say it wrong too. I just call it Lap Frog. I think it's La Frog is
Oh.
the correct pronunciation.
It's La Froche.
Yeah, it's
La
a
Froche.
12-year-old quarter cask. It's pretty good. It's very smoky, peaty, still mildly fruity. So
So this is probably going to be the most expensive, tasty
You said it's how old?
Scotch whiskey I've ever
12
had in my
years old.
life. So
Okay.
I totally blanked on bringing it, but I had a bottle of like 10 to 15-year-old mezcal at home. But
Okay.
Dang, I was just talking about
thank
mezcal.
God. I'm glad you didn't.
have you all had mezcal before?
Cheap mezcal. I've never
Yeah.
had like badass mezcal.
It's, I mean, once you get into the good stuff like the añejo, like aged shit, it's good.
All right, let's have you on more often.
Yeah,
Right?
Bring the
that.
good
They
shit,
can
baby.
taste it.
Yeah, keep bringing
Fuck
it.
all these other guests. They don't even bring shit.
What the heck? That being
Oh,
said,
Aaron brought beer.
well, we had someone. Yeah, Aaron brought beer and someone else brought.
Oh, Emily brings beer.
brings
Emily
beer all
brought.
the
Oh
time.
yeah, Emily brings that.
Yeah, but Emily's pretty much like Chris's.
She's like the co-host kind of thing.
Yeah, she's here when you're not here, so she's pretty
True.
much part of the podcast.
Which, yeah, I missed... last season, I missed like 2 of the end episodes. Like, I was in Colorado
Yeah.
one week, and then I don't remember what happened the next week.
Yeah.
I think you had your penis enlargement.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a
How'd that go, by the way?
It was a decreasement.
Decreasement?
Surgery.
You're like, I could lose a little bit.
He went
Yeah.
from 1 inch to a half inch.
Yeah, it was too much scary.
Too much.
Like 1 inch is... Oof, man.
Oh.
Anyway. All right.
I'm gonna do one
So
of these beers here because I don't. I got these ones from Lucy's Snack Bar downtown. They have like they're
is that a new place or what?
Yeah.
I saw your little post there.
So it's next to Executive Surf Club, and they're constantly changing out their beer. They're like cycling through all the time. So I just grabbed this one this time. It's
Ooh, is that where that little restaurant used to be? The little coffee shop, or is that still there?
It's still a little coffee. They do everything from like breakfast,
Yeah.
beer, wine, charcuterie, stuff like that. They
they got a couple things on tap too.
yeah, they go. I think they source through like Hamlin
It's still-
Bakery and
It's still the same name
Few-
though.
Lucy's. Yeah,
It was Lucy's before.
it's been Lucy's for. I went there about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and
Oh,
it's
wow,
been the
okay.
same for a while.
Yeah, because I went there. I met Julietta. There for when she interviewed us for the band magazine,
Okay.
and it was like some little place right next to the restaurant,
Executive
surf club. Yeah, real
She was-
small, right? Like
Yeah,
maybe 2 of these rooms.
Shout out to her. She was also the secretary in Ringo. I thought that's what you were gonna say. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah. Anyway.
just joking, Julietta.
Crack. Yep. Right. So there's some Asmore noise.
Bassmore. Oh, baby.
I hate IPAs, but let's try it.
My
I think that's
penis.
all we... Well, no. It's most of what we have this
Tastes like an IPA.
You got that at
So, like,
Lucy's?
IPA
They sell
-ness?
beer there? Like you can get it like a
Yeah. It's like they have a fridge there, and you can buy 4-packs, you can buy 6-packs, you can buy. They have
Wine.
things on taps.
yeah.
They
I think
rotate
they
them
have
out, like, all the time, you
wine
said?
and
They got wine there
champagne.
too. Yeah, I was actually thinking about bringing wine, but then I was just like, man, that's gonna be weird to cross
Yeah.
everything over.
we get all sexy and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotta tone down the sexiness.
Dude, last
There's-
weekend I fucking was craving. I see everyone always posting these beers, like chocolate malt beer or like peanut butter beer. All these like, and I'm like, man, these look so good. So I was like, you know what? This weekend I'm gonna drink some like cool beer like that. And every Stripes I went to didn't have anything except normal stuff. So I should
Yeah.
probably go to a liquor store or something.
I wonder if they have like a limit on like the alcohol content that they can like of the beer that they can
Oh
sell.
yeah, that's
Because
true.
a lot of those stouts and stuff are
Well,
like
shit.
9,
Then again,
10%.
they sell malt liquor, so I don't know.
Well, that's still
It's
like
still like,
in the,
yeah, 6 or 7%, right? Like,
Yeah.
any of the bigger
Oh,
beers come to
yeah,
like
yeah.
8+, I guess.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
that
that's
is
true.
a good point.
Um,
I know Lucy's like we were over there and like there was like a wine for like, it was like 13%, but it came in a can. It was like canned wine. And I was like, whoa, 13%. I was going to pick that up, and I was like,
Yeah.
You like champagne or not really?
I like alcohol.
Yeah,
Asti Rossi is pretty good champagne. They have like a 64-ounce bottle at HEB. Like when I first started drinking, I was terrible at drinking.
Give me some champagne, baby.
You bought this 64 ounce.
Yeah, so I would just be playing Battlefield 4 and drinking a whole bottle of champagne.
Yo, fancy ass gamer.
Like yelling at everybody as you're drinking champagne in the background. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Bird has like a gold headset and shit.
dude, that's the way to fucking do it, though.
It was fun, man. I admit I got a little bit crazy.
When you're playing with those kids, when he's younger, he's playing and they're like, motherfucker, I'm drinking champagne. I got a gold headset. You're like, whatever, you asshole. But he really does. What the fuck?
Pretty much.
Anyway, so let's get back on topic as we usually do. And Chris, what have you seen this week? Because as you know, the Homebrew podcast, we talk about movies. So.
And beer and everything in between.
Everything in between. So
in between legs.
This week, I binged. It's probably been a week and a half, 2 weeks. I don't know. My timeline's all fucked up. But I watched all of Queens Gambit on Netflix. Like an entire series. It's like 8-10 episodes, something like that. They've been shortening them every time.
Yeah, I think it's like 8 episodes because I need to watch like the last 2.
Yeah, it's really good. It's about a girl that finds chess and becomes like a chess grandmaster and goes through like the entire chess thing and her whole story of.
I feel like you just spoiled it by saying she becomes a grandmaster.
That, I mean, it's like
I was trying to watch this show, see if she became one.
If you're playing chess, that's like your goal to like, okay, I'm gonna become a grandmaster. That's what you're going for the entire time. You know what I mean? Like,
didn't she invent that move too?
Yes.
Queen's Gambit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows, so I've never seen the show, but apparently at the end she does become the grandmaster, and she creates a move.
Yeah, the Queen's Gambit. The first time I ever played chess was against a more experienced chess player that was my age. That was the move she used to win the game in like 3 or 4 moves. Pissed me off to no end, but I was like, solid move. So I kept trying it.
Bird was like,
yeah, every time I played chess again, I tried that move. That's the only move I know.
So you play chess though?
No, I'm terrible at it. Okay. But I know that one move. And maybe like 3 out of 4 people will get like stumped by it. Because, I mean, it's, if I remember it correctly, like, I mean, you're baiting your queen.
Yeah.
Just to actually win the move in like, or win the game in like 3 or 4 moves.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So usually when I bait my queen, it's for a different reason.
Sure it is.
If you know what that means.
Wrong bait.
Oh, I meant to say my king. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But no, it's really well shot. It actually made me want to start playing chess again. Like,
yeah.
It just
so
gets
you play
the
chess?
Not in any capacity. Like my dad used to have this.
On Facebook, I noticed has been talking about like who plays chess.
Yeah, I'm like no. My dad used to have this like awesome like standing chess set that had like, I mean, they were like 5-inch chess pieces. They were like wooden marble that like, I don't know, it was like a family heirloom type of thing. And so every time I was at his house on the weekends, like me and my brother would play to some extent, and then it turned into like online playing because it's super easy. Like, oh, there's a reset button. It's not like
you and your little brother play chess.
Yeah,
suck my dick. Yeah, right. They fucking ran after each other, throwing Chinese stars and fucking beating each other's asses. I doubt you ever sat at a chess table.
At my mom's house,
Matt,
maybe
I'll play you a game of chess, and he's like, "Sure, brother, let's play." Yeah, right. They're the complete.
I mean, that might not have how it went down, but I believe it.
We put on top hats and monocles, and we played chess.
They're the craziest assholes you would have ever met as little kids. Trust me. Let's play chess, Matt. Okay.
It's not that serious.
Yeah. I don't know. Whenever
jerk.
Just call him out.
So I mean, man, I'm not even gonna go into the whole history of me and my brother. So that's a whole other fucking topic. Let's talk about that at another point.
Next episode. No, whenever me and my brother were growing up, like my brother was he was just like always interested in like mechanics and everything like that. And I remember he went to the library one day, and I went to go pick up a Goosebumps book, and he picked up a book about chess or something. That dude got a chess set for like his birthday, and I was like, "Oh, what's this about?" I learned the game of chess at like 8 years old because I'd play with my brother, because he was like learning it from the library, and I could never beat him. But I was getting closer and closer and closer, and then finally, like I feel like I'm a decent player. I'm not the greatest player. I will say that. I haven't lost a game in a while, but I haven't really played anyone good either. I remember when I used to work at the camera store, I think I bought a chess set, and I would go after work. We'd go have a couple beers, and we'd sit over at Tapology, and or we'd go to our bus downtown. And I was trying to play whoever. I bought a chess set so I could play whoever. I would carry it with me. It was in my car at all times.
You bought a chess set to bring to the bar.
Yeah, because I wanted to play with people.
Jesus Christ.
And yeah,
maybe try going to Barnes and Noble or something.
I don't know who to play chess in, and I'm always excited to figure out who plays chess. So when I saw that the Queen's Gambit was about chess,
because you're trying to play people that go to bars.
Well, that's true.
Go to half price books.
That's
Don't
true though.
Fucking whoop your ass over there.
That's probably true.
He's like, ask me, we gotta play chess. We're like, I'll fucking beat you right now.
I only play chess at the strip club, but I would beat everyone. I don't know why. They don't play chess very well.
I'm just saying that, like, everyone who I played Charlie from the camera store, I played Vic, I played Aaron. And actually, when me and Aaron, we went to Washington, we just came back yesterday, but we were on our flight, and they have it on the back of the seats now where you can watch movies or whatever, you play games. You can play chess with, like, whoever in the place. So I told Aaron, I was like, dude, like, can we connect and play chess here? And we had like a 4-hour flight, and we ended up playing a couple rounds of chess.
Wait, no shit?
On the plane, yeah, you can connect with people on the plane.
With?
Huh?
Who'd you fly with?
American Airlines.
Man, I played fucking Battleship by myself.
Yeah, I saw that Battleship was it. No, if you have someone there, you can play with them. So because they have like Pac-Man and Tetris. I lost at Tetris and shit like that, but when it came to chess, I did pretty well. I held my own. So yeah. So if you play chess, or you don't play chess, you have to have an IQ of at least like 10.
I used to play chess because my little brother, he was like on the chess team or some shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in elementary.
I actually believe it that your brother would probably kick my ass in chess.
Esteban.
Yeah.
Like that.
With a name like Esteban, you stand no chance.
Yeah.
He's all,
he's
Esteban.
Yeah, he's the good one in Call of Duty and everything. So.
Yeah, no shit. That's
Yeah, I feel like anything he just like.
He's a natural gamer. He's like, fuck off. Where's the game?
He knows what he's doing. Yeah.
I think I've asked to play Call of Duty with y'all, and I always like. I put a post up, and then all these people gave me their Call of Duties, and I never added anyone. I just totally forgot about doing it.
Well, he never called me.
There was a time there that we used to play.
Well, it's because we always did the Warzone, and there's only like a 3-person max, and then they did the quads, and then.
And Kevin would join and could never fucking talk in the goddamn group chat. We had to like.
Oh yeah, I'm an Xbox player. These guys are all PC nerds.
Yeah, we had to install like an Xbox app to talk to him that never fucking worked.
Well, it has crossplay. Like, I mean,
it was the audio.
Yeah, we couldn't talk in game.
To talk and
they just didn't want to hop off Discord. That's what it came down to.
Discord is superior, sir.
Yeah.
Are you a PC gamer too?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm done. All right, I'm gonna leave now. So see you guys later.
Bye. Yeah. So Chris is full review of the Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Well, man, there was some good pots. There was some bad pots.
I said like two sentences of it, and you're like, so we're gonna spoil it for everybody. I'm like, well, fuck, it's the Queen's Gambit. It's like one of the most famous moves, like in chess, like.
Well, he was talking about like the move is the show's about how the move originated and stuff. I suppose.
Not necessarily. That's not like what the show is about chess really, but it's about her like kind of story into it, and like there's the whole story about it. Like it's super interesting. Like
I love her character in the show.
Yeah, they did it super well. Like.
Everything's really like shot well, and the colors and everything. It looks really good too.
I think Netflix originals in general are getting really, really well like produced.
Yeah.
Lately, like I think the first one that I noticed that was shot really well was Bright. Like, I mean, I know it was kind of a stupid movie, but it was shot really well. Yeah. And like there was some, there was some scenes that I was like, I got like. Didn't really care for the movie, but I was obsessed with scenes out of that, like where he like drop shots everyone, like he just slows down and then he just caps everyone in slow motion. Mm-hmm. I was like, damn,
it feels nice. It feels like their production budget for all of their like independent shows, because like they're doing it, Amazon's doing it, Hulu's all doing their originals or whatever. It feels like Netflix was like, fuck it, and just dropped a bag and like, okay, do it. Yeah. Do whatever you want to do, because like, I mean, it's just been progressively getting better and better.
I think we talked about it before, but I think it's kind of crazy how like Netflix used to be the thing where it's just like, well, Netflix will save it, Netflix will save it, and now it's like Netflix is canceling their shows. You know, like Netflix, if like you don't get so many viewers on a certain show, they'll cancel it.
Yeah. Out of nowhere too. You're like, fuck, I wanted to see season 2. Like,
I thought I would like that show.
Even if they get good ratings, that's what I noticed. They go by viewership alone rather than ratings. Like, well, not just Netflix, but like I know on Amazon, The Patriot or Patriot. I don't know if y'all have seen that. It's like a black humor spy thing. They were getting like, I want to say 8.9, 7-ish range of ratings on like IMBH or just Google, just general like review sites. They canceled it because they had like, I want to say 10% lower than average viewership for like the last 2 episodes.
Wow.
So like, I mean, they're like, I mean,
Damn.
you either succeed or you don't on these like straight streaming shows.
I feel like there's things like I feel like the new one's probably going to be Hulu that saves shows.
Yeah, I was gonna say because there's other Netflix also picks up shows that die essentially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but Hulu has a lot of good stuff too. Yeah.
They did that with Cobra Kai, right?
Yeah.
Like that was a
Netflix saved Cobra Kai.
YouTube Red, I think, was the original one to produce it. But I mean, they had such a horrible like setup with their like system. I hated YouTube Red honestly so much.
I had it. I never streamed anything. I tried to watch Cobra Kai one time, but I just couldn't be on YouTube and try to watch a series.
Yeah, it just didn't
I was
feel
like,
right.
I want to go back.
Just
Like, no,
know what
I've
you
seen
are.
all these like other things on the task on the bar. I'm like, oh, dog, fucking
Eat shit.
shit, chases balloons. I wonder what's
It chases balloons.
Know your place, corporation.
Yeah.
I'll go back to this.
It
I like
doesn't
this
feel
one.
right. It's like know what you are, you know? Like Google like if you're gonna Google things, you know, people don't use Yahoo and stuff to Google things. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, guys.
Jeez.
But yes.
Well, with that being said, Kevin's saying he doesn't know what to say. What movies have you watched this week, Kevin?
No One Sleeps in the Woods Tonight.
Hey,
Was the movie I watched.
let me try one of those.
They're a little warmer now at this point, I feel.
Damn, bird. That's how you get a beard, baby.
Yeah.
Look like you broke someone's neck.
No One Sleeps in the Woods Tonight. I'm actually really surprised that I watched this because it's a newer Netflix horror film, and to me it seemed like it took a lot from... It's not an American horror film. I want to say it's like French or something.
Yeah, you said like British or something.
British
shit,
maybe? I don't know.
Right? European.
It's definitely dubbed. Oh, it's Polish, I think. It's dubbed over. But basically, it's about like these kids who go into the woods and they're supposed to like distance themselves from social media. So they're supposed to like, oh, I don't have any phones. I don't have phones or whatever, and or any social media, any way to contact the outside world. Ugh. Gross, right? It's an IPA.
Yeah. Here, Chris.
I said it. I know you guys don't like IPA.
Oh my god, it's fucking not kind of warm. This is like
Bird, can I have one of those?
Yeah,
Good.
it's for y'all.
So all these kids go into the woods, and Eric is complaining about the beer.
Why'd you make such a terrible beer choice, Kevin?
It's not a terrible beer choice.
I'm sure
I just
people like it.
Yeah.
I don't like IPA.
try it and you'll like it. I bet.
How many people besides like straight up white dudes with clean cut haircuts that actually like IPAs?
That's true.
I don't know. Chris has a pretty clean cut haircut.
I'm
He's
out.
wearing a hat. I don't know. Sarah Silverman?
You'll never know.
Sarah Silverman.
I just think
That's
they
a white
taste
guy.
like
What the
urine, honestly.
Urine?
Like the ammonia smell off IPAs just throws me every time.
If that's how
I
I
stopped the mic.
cut him off. Cut him off.
I like this.
Yeah, smells just like ammonia. Wait, this is my microphone.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I love the smell of piss when I'm drinking.
Oh, but going back into the show. So these. You know what? Before we go back into the show, actually, let's do another shot. Let's do another shot.
We're gonna do the good stuff, Lady.
I want to do the squirrel one. I don't know if I'm ready for the good stuff yet.
I mean, I would drink the good stuff before you drink the bad stuff so you can actually enjoy
I
it.
think Kevin has a. No, yeah, that's true.
What
too.
do you mean? Kevin has a what? Say it.
That way
finish
your
it.
palate is still.
Yeah.
You
Like,
know.
I mean, if you're going to drink
Moist.
good stuff, I think you should do it before you get totally plastered.
Yeah.
But that's just
I
me.
feel really sober right now, though. But whatever. That's right. All right.
All right.
Yeah, let's do
yeah.
Chris, pour us up. Chris.
Power up, power up.
Pour us
Like
up.
a
Pour
lot.
us up.
Jump down. All right.
That really
so-
does
You can do it.
taste so much like peanut butter. It's kind of disturbing.
What? It tastes like
Like-
like caramel to me. Caramel? How do you say
A
it?
little bit, yeah. But it's definitely has like that after flavor of peanut butter.
It's like a weird coffee thing, I think.
Oh, like Nutter Butters more than peanut butter.
Fuck
Nut
yeah.
butter.
So,
I'm kidding.
as Chris pours
Boys,
a shot,
this
we're
is how you
gonna
know
go-
it's the good shit. It has a fucking cork top, not a screw top.
Oh.
Corky. Ooh, that could have been some good
Asmar?
asthma.
Y'all say ass.
Because Emily, she's the one
Yeah,
who said-
we know it's ASMR, but there was one time like we were all drinking and she said
Smear.
Asmar, and we were just like Asmar. That's why we also say IPA-ness because
Some of the most interesting conversations I've ever had are with Emily, and like she'll go off on it, like she'll say something, and I'm like, I've never heard that before. And then I hear it pronounced correctly, and I'm like, I know all about that.
Oh, I'm talking about that.
Asmar. Okay, so are we all going to do the shot real quick?
All right, boys. Take your shot glasses. I'm a frog.
It's very peaty.
Damn. I can taste like the wood.
Yeah.
I bet you can.
The tan out of the wood. Yeah.
Very veiny.
I can taste the wood. Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's very IPA-ness.
Really?
No.
No, it's more like smoky.
It reminds me of being by a campfire.
Yeah.
I don't know how any way else to describe it, but like you've just eaten a piece of fruit and you're right by a campfire. Kind of like LaCroix.
Why?
Hint.
Why do they make a scotch that tastes like campfire?
It's the way they actually produce it. It's the peat
if,
they smoke the barrels in.
I don't know if my Mexican palate is made for expensive scotch.
You're like,
I need a fucking 40 right now.
It's also not meant to take shots of, so I mean that could be it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
That
okay.
shit was very
like you're sipping
potent,
one.
man. It had a fucking like there's some liquor you drink and it's like, ooh man, that was nasty. And then you drink something that's like, oh, that's kind of smooth. That one was just like flavor. It's like,
Yeah.
Flavor, punch you in the face.
it's one of those
yeah, and
things
it's like the most.
oh, yeah.
My whole tongue was like, I've never tasted this. Yeah, that was very.
It's intense. It's a pretty solid way to describe.
You know, it's just intense camping.
It is intense.
Camping is intense.
I enjoy camping.
Or in cabins.
You know what's in pants?
Go on.
Legs? Legs are in pants.
This dude.
And big knees. Hey, you didn't take a shot?
No.
Oh, wow. All of us took you the shot and you're just like sipping it. No, he did the right way. So the movie is No One Sleeps in the Woods Tonight. These kids, I think I already talked about that part, but they basically have to cut off all social media.
Don't sleep in the woods tonight because these kids.
No.
They be bothering us.
They go into the woods. They have to cut off all social media. It's like a
Too many
rehab for
kids in
them. But when they're in there, there's like, basically it just sets up the reason. Like, you know when you're watching a horror movie and you're like, back in the day, like in the 80s and 90s and stuff, and earlier than that, you can be like, oh, well, why aren't they like, you know, calling? Like, they don't have cell phones, so that's like a reason that you can't just call someone when you're in the middle of the woods and Freddy's chasing you, you know, or Jason's chasing you,
Like
whatever.
the plausibility of rescue is
because you don't have cell phones.
non-existent, yeah.
So they kind of set up in this movie. They're like, well, no one's gonna have cell phones when they're camping because it's like a rehab for these kids to get off of social media or whatever. And it kind of sets that part up. So that's kind of a cool thing. But basically, when they're out there, there's these killer hillbillies, just like The Hills Have Eyes, two twin brothers. You find out that they're like part alien, something, whatever. By the way, we spoil everything on the show.
Did one of them get
Except
Lennied
Queen
at the
Gambit.
end or no?
Huh?
Did one of them get Lennied at the end?
And I get the tender wrap.
Lennied?
Never seen a Mice and Men?
Oh.
Right, they straight up just
Oh, the book? When they,
they just capped
Yeah.
the brother.
Dude,
Yeah.
I never read that movie.
That's
Yeah,
your
I never-
problem. It's been out since like the 90s,
I
bro.
hope not.
I've never read that movie.
Fuck books.
I'm not going to spoil everything about the movie, but I'll just say...
You ruined it, bird.
I'll just say that it follows a lot of like
the rabbits,
horror
Lenny.
movie like cliches. It follows a
Tropes.
lot of cliches, tropes. But
Sometimes those are the funnest ones, though. You know?
I thought honestly,
the
like
movies that take advantage of the tropes and just make fun with them.
Is
Yeah.
it like campy, like tropish,
No.
or is it like
no, it's a serious. They took it seriously when they were making it, but it's a Polish film. I think it's Polish, and they just kind of took elements from all like American classic movies. I feel.
Oh, so the whole film has a serious tone to it.
It's a pretty serious tone. It's not like a B movie.
Not a slapstick horror.
No,
kinda.
it's a slasher for sure, but it's just like I think they were just trying to make their own Hills Have Eyes. They set it up for a sequel, which I thought was pretty cool. But I think it's a Netflix original, so I mean, if you guys want to check it out, it's on there.
And what's the title one more time?
I think it's called.
Don't Sleep in the Woods because
Nobody
damn
sleeps
kids.
in the woods tonight. Yeah,
Because those damn kids.
They'd be
and
bothering
I
me.
don't know.
My tent.
They say the title at one point, and it's
I'm
like
trying
that-
to sleep.
Yeah. What?
I'm camping. I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah, they say the title at one point in the movie. I don't remember what it's called now. Nobody sleeps in the woods tonight.
And it came out this year, you said?
Yeah, it's dubbed in English, so the lips are off sync, but you can hear in English.
Do y'all prefer watching dubs or do y'all prefer like subtitles?
I would probably say subtitles.
I put subtitles on everything.
I do too.
I mean that I do as well. So that's kind of the reason. Like when I'm watching like foreign cinema, I end up just foregoing the dub.
Everything's subtitled, but I did watch a lot of that Dark with the overdub.
That was really good. They did a good job on that one. Another one didn't really care for the dub was Ragnarok. I don't know if y'all seen that. It's kind of it's like a Norway modern day like rendition of like the old gods and stuff like that. So they the point of the show is like the old gods get reincarnated into modern day people. So like the kid, he's Thor, but he's not really Thor.
What is this on?
It's on Netflix. It's like a Norwegian, I want to say,
what's it called?
Drama series, Ragnarok.
Huh. That sounds really cool.
It is really cool, and they like it sets him up against the Giants. Like the Giants.
Is that somewhat new or what?
2018 or 2019.
I've seen that.
It's really good.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad.
It's shot really well, and I mean because they shot like in Norway, it has like the fjords and the forest and like the rocky crag country and stuff like that. It's really pretty show in general.
Lots of Satanists too, probably. I'm sure.
More paganism than Satanism. Yeah.
Bunch of death metal.
Don't even act like you know what you're talking about.
Actually, yes.
Well, that's what I say. Black metal originates from
the Giants and like the villains. Like they associate themselves with death metal. Yeah, black metal and death metal. That's their way of like keeping their like their folklore alive is through like metal. It's pretty interesting. Yeah.
What the hell? Yeah. I mean.
Hey, anyways, so I saw. This week I saw 2 movies, and one of them I had to bring up the title because it's fucking super long and
that's what she said.
And it's super little.
That's what she said.
It's not girthy.
It's fucking really good movie. It's called The Meyerowitz Stories, New and Selected.
Okay, that's the one with
Ben Stiller, Adam Sandler, Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
But it's directed by Noah Baumbach, who did like The Squid in the Well and Marriage Story. I feel like most people have seen Marriage Story. You know, it kind of blew up last year.
Was that the one with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so me and Ashley were just looking for something to watch before we ate dinner, and it popped up, The Meyerowitz Stories. And
when did it come out?
2018, and it has Adam Sandler and Dustin Hoffman and fucking Ben Stiller. And I was like, dude, I've never seen this. Like, what the hell? So I was like, hey, there's this movie with them. She was like, yeah, put it on. So we ended up watching it, dude, and it was so fucking good. It's I would say like a family drama. You know what I mean? Which are most of his films. Noah Baumbach, like Marriage Stories, family drama. Squid in the Well is a family drama. He's done like a shit ton of other movies that some I haven't seen before. But
so is it like centered around like interpersonal conflicts or what?
Yeah, all family conflicts. But like I guess. Every character has its own conflict as well, or personal story or whatever. But the cinematography was really cool. It was like a lot of like handheld kind of documentary style. But the thing that I loved about it, dude, and it was so inspiring, was the dialogue, dude. The dialogue. You watch the movie, and it's not like you're like you watch a movie like what's that one you really like with Leonardo DiCaprio where he's a cop.
Titanic?
The Departed?
Yeah. So, you know, like in The Departed,
Titanic?
You have Mark Wahlberg who's like, I'm a motherfucking cop. He's all, don't fucking blah, blah, shut up.
Fuck yourself.
I'm tired from fucking your wife.
How's your mother?
Good, she's tired from fucking my father.
You know, and then you have Leonardo that's like, hey, man, I'm just... And they're great actors, but they're playing these roles, right? And it's just different, like, in the way this guy does his films and he writes his dialogue, it's like they're people. You know what I mean?
There, yeah.
You know, it's like you're witnessing this family in like real life, and the way the dialogue is written and the way they perform it, and just kind of almost like Marriage Story. It's very similar. Marriage Story had a really good dialogue, and that's why I think you got so connected with the characters.
It's like something that's not necessarily like important to the story, but it grounds them to like a level that you can relate with.
Like so much like random dialogue. Like there's this part in the movie where they're arguing about selling a house, this and that, and then Dustin Hoffman walks to the kitchen and goes, where's the peanut butter? And then his wife goes, it's upstairs. And he goes, why is it upstairs? And there's like awkward pause, and then it cuts to a different scene. And I was like, I paused it, and I was like,
why is the peanut butter upstairs?
I was like, why would he say that? I was like, that's so fucking like, But it's just like that kind of dialogue is just so. It's like something you would really hear. And I ended up watching this YouTube video about the dialogue that had this whole fucking analysis of how it works, and the way he writes it is that when you write a screenplay, it's like character A says this, character B replies with this, character A says this, character B writes this or replies with this. But the way he writes his screenplays is like there's a lot of overline. So as character A is saying this, character B is on top of character A saying this. So in the film, there's a lot of over talking. Like Dustin Hoffman's like, oh yeah, so when this and his like saying something about he wants to sell the house, but then the son starts saying, well, I think you should sell the house, blah blah blah, and then mom's in the background saying, hey, but there's all this all this dialogue going on. You're kind of listening, and it just makes it feel like you're actually
like observing
with your parents or something. You know what I mean? Anyway, super interesting, shot great. The story is excellent.
I feel like he did that with A Marriage Story too.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like personal cinema rather than like kind of like scoped cinema, like where you're kind of like an outside observer, whereas you actually feel like you're part of the story.
It's not being spoon fed to you, but it's more like they're putting you in the air, like they're putting you in the movie with
the situation with them.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's like realistic.
Does the awkwardness translate?
Like I think so.
Intense moments, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's fucking... And Adam Sandler, at one point in time, I feel like he was pigeonholed as, like, a comedian, but I feel like ever since, like, Punch Drunk Love, he has the ability to really play in these awkward, dramatic roles, you know?
Same thing I feel like kind of happened with Ben Stiller a little bit. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but, like, Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I know that's more of a like a light.
It's my favorite movie.
Yeah. Really, that's a super lighthearted film, but like it really took him out of that like that comedic role and put him more in like a relentlessly optimistic kind of role, which I enjoyed like seeing him out of his element because I think it really shined.
Dude, there's another film that came out last year, the year before, called Someone's Door or something. It's where he plays a father and his son's addicted to like pills and heroin and stuff.
I thought that was with what's his face from The Office.
Oh, Steve Carell.
Yeah, that was Steve Carell.
Yeah, no, that's my bad.
But same
he's
thing.
Another one.
Yeah.
He stepped out of his like comedic role. I think his first one was Crazy Stupid Love. That like he really stepped out of that like.
Oh yeah, that was a good movie.
His comedic role.
When I was thinking of that movie, I was trying to picture Ben Stiller in that movie, and I was like, "Is that him?" And I imagine Ben Stiller in front of the kid being like, "Get off drugs." And I'm like, "Yeah, that was him." And then you're like, "That's Steve. I'm like,
ding.
Oh, okay. My brain went, "Nope, not him."
You know who else was like that? Like growing up, I'd always watch like Robin Williams movies, but then like I saw like some of his serious roles, like World's Greatest Dad and stuff like that. Damn,
or
that's
Good Will Hunting and stuff.
Yeah, Good Will Hunting. Huh?
But yeah, I said the title already. It's the Meyerowitz stories, whatever. But it's really good. But on top of that, I saw one more movie that I really want to touch base on. That I also want to save for another time too. But I'll touch base on it a little bit. Is American Honey.
Is that with Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a A24 film, and it came out 2 years ago or something.
I think it just came out this year.
Was it this year?
This year or like late last year?
I think it was late last year.
Yeah.
It came out because I remember hearing
Honey
about
or Honey Boy.
American Honey.
I think it might be Honey Boy.
Honey Boy has Shia LaBeouf in it.
Is that the one that's like a story of him? Like
yeah,
where he's,
it's
like he plays his dad or something like that, right?
Like, is that the one you're talking about?
No, I don't think so. Let's see.
Oh. We'll talk about Honey Boy in another episode.
Have y'all seen Into the Wild or no?
Yeah, that's actually one of Ashley's favorite movies.
That is kind of like one of those kind of that it reminded me of either Honey Boy, American Honey, or what, that kind of like introspective, like sit by the beach and pontificate kind of movies. Same kind of vibe, I thought, at least.
Today's word of the day is pontificate. I've never heard that word before. Tell us what pontificate means.
American Honey. Yeah, it came out. This one came out 2016.
Oh, it did. So it's a different movie.
Okay, yeah, that's a different movie. That's not with Shia LaBeouf.
This one's with Shia LaBeouf. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Is that the one where he travels with like the disabled kid?
Right.
No. I seen that one though. That was really good.
Peanut Butter Hawk or something.
Peanut Butter
Falcon.
Peanut Butter Falcon. That's good too. But yeah, American Honey. So, dude, I watched this one just because I had heard a shit ton about it when it came out, and I was like, I'll give it a chance. It had some downtime or whatever, and it's about these like rural kids, or basically like this whole generation of kids who are like the left out generation in America. They have like no money. They're from broken homes, like just like broken families, drug addicts, whatever. And one of them, she lives in Texas, and like the film opens with her going into a dumpster trying to find food for 2 kids that aren't even her kids, but she's taking care of them. The movie kind of implies that it's like her boyfriend's kids or something. I don't know. Anyways, she ends up meeting some young people. One of them catches her eye, Shia LaBeouf, whatever. And she gets to talk to him. And they're these guys. I don't know if you guys ever interacted with them. They might be more of mine, Chris's age. But remember when we were younger, there's these guys that are like 18. Hey, how old are you, man? You want to travel the world? We sell magazines. Remember, they would sell magazines door to door or just like wherever you were. You could be at the mall. And like they would have like a fucking... what do you call it? Like a satchel. Like a satchel. And they'd be, hey, man, blah, blah. You read magazines and this and that. Oh, no, I'm good. How old are you? Oh, 18. Hey, man, you need a job, blah, blah. You can come with us, travel the world, this and that. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
And it's about that culture. There's this door-to-door culture of kids that used to sell, like, these magazines, dude. And I remember they used to go to my house all the time. And they weren't always just, like, clean-cut, like, good-looking kids, like, in button-up shirts. They were, like, fucking eyebrow piercing, maybe with spiky hair, like Jinkos. Like, hey, man, so you're always like, dude, like, I'm not gonna buy shit from you. Anyways,
yeah, my mom wouldn't allow this.
Yeah, I'm just like, you look shady. But
I don't need any magazines.
But it shows like this other person who's just like, she's trying to take care of these kids that aren't even hers. She's like digging through dumpsters just to eat, and she's young. She's like 18. She sees all these other kids her age, and she's just like, fuck, that's like an escape. So she ends up going with them and kind of like living. Adapting to their lifestyle or like whatever.
Door-to-door lifestyle.
Yeah, and just like the shit they get into, you know, drugs and robberies and all kinds of stuff, you know. But it's super interesting. Shot amazing. It's another one that's shot very shoulder rig, handheld, documentary style, you know what I mean?
Like just super aesthetic through and through.
Yeah, just like there's a lot, I would say like a lot of natural light kind of stuff, you know, just
guerrilla style, as we say.
Guerrilla style, yeah.
Do y'all prefer like handheld cinema, or do y'all like still pan shots, like super steady?
I think that depends on.
Yeah, it depends what it is, but for the most part, I like when I watch movies, I appreciate more of like a shoulder cam, kind of like you can use a gimbal or a dolly to push forward, or you can have a camera on your shoulder and walk forward. And I think the camera on your shoulder walking forward gives you more of like a
kind of an unsteady,
like you're
moving
there kind of thing.
Personal feel.
I do appreciate that a lot more. I think maybe maybe it's because I also see gimbal everywhere now, so it's like, you know, it's kind of like,
it's kind of annoying at this
point.
Y'all don't like gimbals?
We use them.
Yeah, use them all the time. But
depends. It calls the scene calls for it. Yeah, if the scene calls for a gimbal, then you use a gimbal. I always say like you use shaky shoulder cams and stuff like that when the scene's more intense.
Yeah.
You use gimbals for when you want to have a smoother
transition.
Yeah, like if you're doing a wedding and stuff like that, use a gimbal. You don't want to have we're in the shit with this wedding and stuff like that. But if you're calling for like an action movie, use a.
I mean,
however, with that being said, I have seen this wedding filmmaker who does all handheld work, and it's fucking amazing, dude. Amazing, and he does a lot of Foley in his wedding videos. So he'll show like a waterfall, you hear the water and birds chirping and this and that, and then like the way the cameras move and everything. But you have to be like. The guy is like super talented. Like I shot anamorphic the wedding I just posted.
I was actually gonna tell you. I didn't even comment about that, but the anamorphic shots with the light that look cool. That look very cinematic, man. Yeah, those look really good.
And all handheld and fucking. That was like hard to edit like all these handheld shots into a wedding video. You know what I mean? It's all handheld. I didn't have the shoulder rig, but. Because I'm used to doing weddings all with gimbal or tripod, you know, pretty much.
Yeah.
So trying to put these handheld shots and work them in there, I'm like, fuck, like this is kind of not used to this.
I noticed which shots were used with the black magic and the anamorphic lens, and man, those were really cool.
What kind of anamorphic lens did you use?
It's right behind you, next to the gimbal. No, behind you.
Oh, back there.
The big one.
I know, but what is that? Kind of inside of a case.
No, it's right there on the shelf. Fool.
I can't see in the dark.
I see it right here. It's the big lens is right next to the gimbal. It's an SLR Magic 50mm 2x.
SLR makes some pretty dope lenses.
Yeah, they make some pretty good cinema lenses and stuff. But yeah, so the Meyerowitz stories, American Honey, American Honey's A24. Everyone fucking loves A24, so watch that if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So, Bird, you saw something recently, right? Bird picked the movie of the week, actually.
I had actually seen it quite a while ago, but it just kind of reverberated with me a lot. So I ended up buying the book, doing like the background research on it. But the movie's called Hold the Dark. It's set in Alaska in the fictional city of Keelet, and it just kind of has to do with like the interpersonal conflict between a husband and wife, and then like an independent person that the wife brings in to kind of like, I don't know if she's either using him to arbitrate their dispute or to kind of like chronicle it, you know, to tell her story. Because being in a small place like that, I think it was an epic story regardless of whether or not it was healthy or not. It was a tale to be told, and I think that she used him to document it. But the to get in, is it okay if I spoil it?
Yeah,
spoil 2018 spoil the shit out of that.
Oh, I mean, y'all have all seen it, right?
Yeah.
Spoil it.
Have we seen it? Have we all seen it,
Did
Kevin?
you not watch it, Kevin?
I was in Washington at this point, so
there's no excuse. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't have anything to do.
Whatever. Kevin,
we're gonna spoil that shit for you, good.
No, spoil it for sure. I'll watch it still.
So basically, like, I mean, the movie starts out kid playing in the snow, and mother's watching him 1 minute, then the next minute he's gone. And I mean, it's implied that he's eaten by wolves. And as the story kind of unfolds, she engages this wolf hunter, and it seems like he's kind of mournful that he did kill the wolf in the first place, because when you actually do see him, his house is covered in paintings of wolves, and in the book it really emphasizes that, like, he sees those golden eyes, like almost human, not human, but very piercing. And like in the book, it's obsessed with that, like that piercing nature of like the wolf's stare, like it's peeling back all the trivialities of a personality when you're eye to eye with the wolf.
Because the premise is like he lived with wolves or something like that for a long ass time, right? Like that.
Yeah,
was the thing?
he lived with wolves, but one of the wolves that he had been studying for a long time, he ended up having to kill because it ate a kid. And
Wait. Do they explain that in the movie? Or
no,
is that in the book.
So there's a certain amount of exposition.
Okay, real quick. So you did read the book?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you read the book because after watching the movie, I did find out later that it was based on a book, which I could fucking tell right away. The first like 30 minutes while watching it, I was like, the way they were acting, the way the story was being told, I was like, this has to be fucking like based off of a book or something.
There's backstory, right?
Yeah.
Like unsaid backstory.
And I feel that was the biggest problem. I feel like I haven't read the book, but could be with the film, is that there's a lot that we didn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was told in the book.
That was like the same argument we had with that. What's that one?
Devil movie?
The Devil All the Time. Yeah.
Yeah, that was another solid movie. There's a lot of exposition where you're either gonna have to watch it more than once to catch it, or you're gonna have to read the book to like fully appreciate it. But I kind of actually like movies and film and books and stuff like that, because I don't really enjoy watching something once and then just being done with it. Like, I enjoy like having to do like some deeper research into stuff like that. But yeah, so there definitely is, like, you have an aspect of just being thrown into this very like dark story, very cold. And I think even the way it's shot is like, you feel very cold and impersonal, and you're like thrust into this situation you don't really want to be in, because you can tell it's going nowhere healthy for any character involved.
Real quick, I'll give a quick summary, that way the listeners can get an idea of what we're talking about.
Sorry.
So yeah, the kid, he's in the snow, he gets taken. Wife calls like this dude to come, like, hey, come help me out. There's these wolves that took my kid. The guy's like a wolf expert. He comes while the husband is based like in
Iraq
or something, some like crazy ass place in America. They show him already killing people. Pop, 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 pop. So the dude's like a murderer, like just by blood, dude. Just like a fucking murderer.
Yeah.
Comes back to find that his son has been killed. They find out that it was the wife. He goes on a fucking spree looking for his wife. You don't know if he's gonna fucking murder her, what's gonna happen. So from there, the shit hits the fan. The guy just goes on a murdering spree, just killing everyone. There's a fucking badass fucking
shootout scene.
That's probably my favorite scene of the movie.
Yep.
And then at the end, the guy ends up finding the wolf. I keep wanting to say Eric from True Blood, but Skarsgård finds the sheriff and the wolf man. Kills the sheriff, and then I don't know, there's a bunch of weird shit after that. He ends up not killing his wife. They killed his son, but they end up like making out and like probably doing it or something.
Wife/sister.
But
what?
That's kind of that is his sister. Yeah.
You found out it was a big incest movie. You kind of find out.
Yeah, but dude, I did not get that from watching the movie. There's so many little parts that if you watch the movie, just skips right over. You only get it if you watch like a YouTube kind of explain it to me. And I was like, what the fuck? That's his sister?
I kind of like that, though, because like it expects you to pay attention. Like
that's why he said a rewatch. Like a movie that you may have to watch more than once to be like, oh.
So I Googled it, too, afterwards. And apparently it was
you
like
have to.
the book and the movie and everything that's been done since is like, they're all kind of ambiguous and leaves it open. Like it doesn't explain it completely. Like it's his sister, and like it leaves it kind of open for interpretation kind of type deal.
Yes and no. Like, I mean, I think the book is a little bit more finite with the details that it gives, so it's a little bit more definitive. But it definitely does leave it open a little bit at the end. But more
it leaves it open completely, dude. You don't know what happens to them. Do they become wolves? Do they just go live out in the wilderness?
In the book, they actually do go out and live in the wilderness. The
whole with the masks. It's like, do they like evolve? And then the spiritual thing with the boy, like the blood cult thing, like you don't know if it's like demonic or like they're like doing some. I don't know. At the end of the movie, I was like, to me, it could have been anything. Like I feel it was very, very left open for interpretation. I feel like the book probably, like you said, was more to where like you could end it and be like, most likely this happened, or you know what I mean. But like the movie, it was just like me and Ashley watched it together, and we're just like,
what?
Don't let it end. This can't end. No, don't. And then the credits came, and we're like, motherfucker! I was like, YouTube was like, well, fucking explain this shit to me.
And that's kind of why I thought it would be something good for this, because like, I mean, I feel like we, except for Kevin, might have sorry, I'm just playing with you, we might each have a different interpretation that we took from it. Like, and
the director's amazing. He did The Green Room. He did Blue Ruin, which are both fucking amazing films.
Well shot to a T.
Dude, the shot where he's coming out, the killer dude is coming out of that building, and you have all that orange light, and then
with the mask on.
Yeah, dude. Oh, fuck, dude. Like, there's a lot of beautiful shots in that movie.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but like the three main tones were white, blue, and orange. Like when things got like really intense, that orange always popped up, which I know that's kind of a trope, like to like have mood lighting.
Yeah.
But I think it really fit that intensity because like once again, if you did read the book, that orange yellowy tint is the same color that the Wolfman associates with the eyes of the wolf. So like, I think the director tried to like incorporate these things, but I don't know if it was on purpose or not. He didn't like give enough like reasoning for why he was doing all those things. I think he saw it like really beautifully. He portrayed it really beautifully. He didn't do a very good job of explaining why he was like adding these certain little like interactions or these certain lightings or anything like that into it. But like I said, I enjoy movies that like you have to go.
Well, I also think from like a creative standpoint, sometimes it's fun to just like throw in those little things for people who like have like read the books and stuff, you know, like, all right, you know, like
that's true.
Whenever like we named that movie Patrick because of Patrick Swayze, because we're like Ghost, you know. We made that short film Patrick and stuff.
That was actually really good. I think I told you, but
oh, thank you.
I love the grain and the composition and the coloring.
That's all this guy. Yeah.
No, he said it was both. Yeah, I believe it.
Well, that's mostly him.
The shootout in the movie was fucking intense.
Like, oh yeah.
I see when I first saw it, I fucking my eyes like, what the fuck? Because he's like, yeah, get ready. You're gonna have to call your wife tonight. Blah blah. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, dude, if I was this dude, I would have been like,
the hairs on your neck.
I'd have been like, took steps back, not put my back to him, and I would have been like, all right, man, that's cool. And I would step back and I would just run and I'd be like, everyone get down. You know?
But the way he said, he didn't actually say like, he didn't say it that way. He said it like, your wife's gonna get that call tonight, you know, like, but he didn't say what call. Like it was ambiguous, you know, like, you mean the death call? Like,
it was a threat, and that dude
played. It was an ambiguous threat.
That dude played a damn good job of like someone you could hate. I didn't like that. I'm like, man, that dude's like.
You didn't like Cheon?
No. He was a damn good actor. Like he played his role good, you know.
Yeah,
like
he made you hate him like immediately when you were like he was talking to him.
I actually liked him.
Well,
But
he was like a dick. Like he was in prison. Like they showed like his mugshots or something. He like plays a guy that like was in prison for a while. That's just like this real tough fucking like dude,
like withdrawn loner kind of like you don't want to mess with this.
Yeah. And the sheriff is like there, and apparently there's some backstory about like I guess his wife went missing. They never like found her or something.
His kid, yeah. I think the whole reason he was pissed off with the sheriff's department was because like he was a native. His kid goes missing, and several other native kid goes missing, and the sheriff's department shows up for an hour interview, and then they dip. They never did anything else. Yeah. But then when this white, I don't know if it was an element of racism or if it was just like kind of just put in there.
I read it just like it's cops.
I feel like
he killed cops.
That town was so small that they didn't give a fuck about them.
But I don't know if you noticed, but like the when the white kid dies, the entire sheriff's department descends on that town. The wife calls in the wolf expert. Like everything just kind of like descends.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe because Cheon was so close, which is the Native American
guy. That was the guy's best friend too, right?
Yeah, and that was his best friend. So like he's already pissed off about his own kid. He's mad that his friend's kid died to his friend's wife, sister, whatever you want to call her, and then he's mad about the way the sheriff's department's treating it. So like I feel like that's a culmination of like, so that's one of those things that you wouldn't really notice unless you like went back a second time and you watched like the interactions, because that was a huge thing. Like all these kids, like I want to say 3 or 4 kids had disappeared from that town, and they were all being blamed on the wolves.
Yeah, and you see, I didn't even notice the part where he's burning their like birth certificates and all this stuff like to prove that they never like existed or whatever. Like I remember seeing it, but I was like, what is that? Like, is that a photograph or something?
All I thought he was burning was like the police file. Like, okay, cool. You never had any evidence of that.
He wanted to make it harder for the police to find Medora. So like
everything they had on evidence of where she was, it was all in that one file. Like, apparently. Which I believe it's in Alaska. Like
everything's not computerized paper still.
But going back to the scene real quick, so the sheriff's walking away, and then that fucking dude Coop, what's his name? The wolf hunter,
the dude from Westworld,
Coop or something, right? Or I don't know.
Let's see. He plays Russell Core.
Yeah,
and he like points in the window in the background.
Slow. The entire movie, he's like, "I'll find these wolves," and they show this white ass shot, right? And he's in the snow, and he's walking like towards, I guess, to go
slow
somewhere.
Points,
and he's just going like this. And I told Ashley, I was like, "Well, shit, if he walks that slow," I was like, by the time he gets a mile from here, it's gonna be fucking dark.
This motherfucker ain't catching any wolves.
And then not just that is there's a part where he's like, "Oh, I need to talk to the old lady, the like witch lady or whatever." So he goes back to the town, and all the cops show up because they're looking for Chidor or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And he sees the cops coming, and he turns around and goes, "Hey."
And then M60 just opens up Rambo style, and just everyone starts dropping.
I'm like, if you're trying to get their attention, you got to be a little bit louder than that, like, "Hey," or something.
Hey,
but
I think he's so traumatized already by that point. Like, I mean, imagine finding a little kid strangled in the basement of an ice cellar. Like,
I don't know. I think it was his character, because look at Medora's character too. Every line she spoke in that movie was, like, it was all just super like.
Look
whisper,
at the black sky. Do you understand it now?
That's the teaser trailer for episode.
I'm editing this. But the other guy, Ghidorah, whatever his name is, he was like the same thing too. He's very soft spoken, very like.
It's Vernon and Medora.
No, I'm talking about the Wolfman guy.
Oh, Russell.
Yeah. He was very like soft spoken too, just like, oh yeah.
Kind of breathy.
So
right?
whenever he's like pointing, like, and he's like, "Hey, move. Someone's there," and he's like, "Huh?" And like me and Ashley were watching together the other night, and we were both like, "Motherfucker, let's say something,"
Were y'all kind of shocked when like that happened? Like, were y'all expecting it? Like that level of like violence?
No, fool. We weren't expecting that. We were like, no, fool. We're like, damn, dude. I was like, dude.
He just kicks open the barn doors like, "I got a machine gun, bitch."
And at first I was like, where would he even get this from? But I'm like, okay, the other guy, Vern, which is Medora's husband, right?
Military, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, he's in the military. You know, who knows if he's ever been back for leave or whatever. That guy obviously probably fucking has so many weapons and shit, you know?
Well, he set it up earlier in the scene, too, where he's like, "I got a lot of weapons that aren't registered motherfucker. Yeah. Like, you know, like I'm like, okay, you got a bunch of handguns, something like that. You know, like, yeah, cool.
Who thinks they have a machine gun? And then bolted down, like
with like fucking 8,000 rounds.
You know that scene? I didn't even realize what it was the first time. Like where they have that scene where he's bolting something down with like straps, and then. But he's totally ready for that situation to happen. He was doing it regardless of what happened. That was like, because I mean that machine gun was bolted down. That there was so much premeditation in that act of violence. Yeah, that was like his last breath of like, hey, I'm going out with a bang.
The tension when the cop's talking to him was like, he's like, hey guy, I don't give a fuck, guy. Like, you can come inside if you want to. Fuck you. Like
that guy, that repetition of that guy,
dude. Like, it's just like it was emotionless. You're like, all right, guy, you want to come in here?
He was totally withdrawn at that point.
Yeah.
And then when the sheriff's gonna go through the back door, I was like, there's gotta be something there. He's opening it, and then you see like the
shotgun barrels. Yeah.
Fuck, dude, this dude was prepared, man. Like
he was going ham.
So the whole movie, even if the rest of the movie would have sucked, I feel like that shootout scene made the entire movie worth it. Like, it was fucking great, dude. And then that poor kid, he's like, stay here behind the rock or whatever, don't move. And the other guy shot, he's like, come over here and help me. I was like, don't go, dude, don't go. And he's like,
for me, I was like, do it, you dumb motherfucker.
Run,
motherfucker,
like,
run.
Fuck.
And then, like, he doesn't even try to kill that kid once he's out there. He's just, like, stitching his legs.
Dude,
up.
Yeah, when he shoots over his legs, I'm like, damn, that's like
a jerk.
That's
going to
hurt.
Right
Yeah.
But, you know, what's cool that kind of brings it back home and brings that guy back to reality is when he goes, just stop.
Yeah, like where Core is like, he unloads on him with the shotgun, and then he's just like, stop it. Stop it.
Just
and I think
already.
that little bit of humanity actually, I think, is what shocked Cheon into like, I probably did more than enough.
When that happened, I was like, took me back and I was like, whoa, this guy's human. This is not some fucking like crazy stupid action movie where like, it's like, you know, all these people are human, you know what I mean? And this guy like realized like, oh shit, like what am I doing, maybe, you know?
Like, I mean, imagine how far you would be pushed if like your entire family is lost, like your life just starts to exponentially spiral in a downward motion. Like, I mean, it could start out like, hey, I decided not to work out today. Next week my kid dies. Like, so you're already in an unhealthy mindset. Something really bad, traumatizing happens. Then your wife leaves you, so you lose your support system. You're in a small town. You have seasonal depression. And, like, all this stuff, like, it makes him inhuman because he's experiencing so much emotion that it becomes a lack of emotion.
But that's why I think it's super cool is when that guy just, like, almost like a father figure, stop it. Just stop it. Like, talking to a child. And the guy just stops for a second, like, and then that's when the sheriff comes up behind him. But I was like, dude, he actually stopped, like,
yeah,
I thought it was a really cool part in the scene.
Yeah, I thought so too. It was like an injection of humanity into a very inhuman situation.
The thing that got me, and I rewatched it and I pulled back because at first I was like, Jesus Christ, like the motherfucker has his legs hanging out of the fucking, like when he's like shooting the gun, like half of his body is exposed and the cops can't hit a fucking thing.
I said that to Ash too.
But then like he explains to me and he's like, all these guys out here are green, like they've never seen anything like this. Like I kind of got that, but like, Jesus fucking Christ! You're like 20 feet from me. I can hit you with a shotgun.
There's the point in time where he unmounts the Gatling gun and he goes right into the window.
And you see his leg like sitting right there. Like if you shoot his kneecap, he's fucking done.
I thought about that. I told Ashley, I was like, how can they not fucking hit this guy?
Was like stormtroopers from Star Wars.
Like when I think Miriam, which is the sheriff, goes into the room. Like you can totally see he's like all like from shrapnel. I think he's just like gone. Like I mean like. I think when you get to that point, like, and I mean, I think a lot of, if you watch the interviews with soldiers and stuff like that who've done like heroic deeds and like beyond human kind of stuff, like once you get into that fight or flight mode, like you like, and not to like dissolve your point or anything, but like when you're committing that level of violence, you're separated from yourself because that is, it's not a human thing to do that much violence.
But all the cops all the cops are on the floor shooting up.
And when
why couldn't they hit him when he came outside? Like when he walked up with the Gatling gun and pretty much just standing at the window.
His knee, everything, half his body.
Private Ryan.
There's still like 4 cops, and none of them can hit him. I was so pissed.
The same thing too. Like when the dude's sitting there with an MP5 and he's like, "I'm gonna go to the front door." I'm like, bitch, aim this way. I can shoot through that fucking wooden fucking plank. I will fucking nail you 100 times before you can turn at me.
Even the sheriff who was leading them all, he said the worst thing, later on, he goes, the worst thing I've ever been shot at is a 22.
True.
So, like, I mean, there's no leadership.
Yeah.
They're not expecting a freaking mounted heavy machine gun.
And he said in the beginning, like, they're all green. Like, nobody's ever seen
it's
them.
Fucking
they're all
Alaska.
Like,
I'm sure they weren't like,
cops.
let me, like, get the shot.
It's like the neighborhood watch of Alaska or something like that.
Like,
Alaska.
and I mean, the if you want to even go deeper into the M60E4, which is what he's using, the M60E4, which is what he's using, he's mounted up with, it totally will go through the engine block of a car. So they have no cover. They're out in the open. They're getting stitched up. I want to say, like, in the first 2 seconds, like, 3 guys die straight up. So, like, I mean, that cuts their force in half. Like, I mean, yeah, I understand what y'all are saying, but, like, that's it's a crazy thing. It's one thing to talk about being under machine gun fire and shooting back, and then another thing to say, hey, I popped my eyes out from behind cover. I'm going to get domed with a 30, 40 bullets.
In this situation, too, but, like, they showed so many fucking return fires from the, like, police force. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You guys are just, like, fucking...
What I didn't understand, too, is that when they go back to, like, home base or whatever to get in the plane, to take off to find the cave or whatever, there's a lot more police officers. Pretty sure that dude just killed the entire police force. I'm like, where the fuck did these guys come from? But then,
well, they did say earlier, I think that they had called in
the
people,
SRT unit or something
from,
was coming.
Special response force from like,
I was like, dude,
Anchorage
this dude,
or
literally
Keno or something.
I think in that shootout scene, he had to have killed like at least 11 people in that thing.
Yeah.
It's fucking brutal, dude. Just go to YouTube and type in.
It's up there. Just shootout scene. Hold the dart.
Hold the dart. Shootout scene. Yeah.
The special effects of like the dead bodies and stuff with like the bullet holes.
Oh, the part where freaking it gets shot in the cheek and his little cheek.
Yeah, you see the whole thing like just.
You know, something else. If we're talking about like the violent aspect of it, like all the main characters, they get wounds in the same place. Right here in the neck. Like when Miriam gets shot through the neck with an arrow. When Vernon gets shot through the neck with an arrow. The old lady who's the witch who kind of put the curse on the son, neck.
Okay, so one thing I was confused at too, when he's talking to the old witch lady or whatever, and she's like, "You should have just died in the sand," like meaning when they showed him getting shot in the neck, right? Mm-hmm. How does she know he got shot in the neck?
I think there is an aspect of mysticism in that movie, but I think it's less like if once again if you read the books, like him and his sister, they had always been viewed as like unnatural. Okay. And maybe it was because of their incestuous relationship, or it was because they're the only white people in that whole village. Like their race actually plays a huge part of the book. Like it's explained that they're Nordic, like they're actually Vikings displaced into this like
that's cool
pagan culture.
That makes a lot of sense because the whole time I'm like, I don't understand. Like, how do you fit into this like Alaskan like ice hunter culture?
That's the problem of trying to fucking make a movie from a book. You know what I mean? It's
There's
like you
so
have to
much
fit because the movie's 2 hours long. It's not a short movie by any means. You know what I mean? It actually, to bring that up, I remember thinking, I was like, man, I wonder if this is based out of a book. I paused it. I pushed up to see how long this movie is, and it was like 2 hours and 10 minutes. I was like,
based off a book.
It's based off of a book. They're trying to fit as much shit as they can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I feel like that would have been a fucking amazing miniseries, dude. Like,
I feel like that could have been stretched out over like 10 episodes, and I would have been engrossed and engaged every single episode.
Yep.
Probably comes down to budget when it comes down to that.
Yeah, I think so. And because they had big names in it, I think it's kind of hard to retain those big. I think all the characters actually played pretty well. Like Vernon, Medora, Core.
I really like the dude from Westworld. Like that dude's like a fucking phenomenal actor.
He plays the same character in every show, though.
See, I have the two, like Westworld and that to compare him to. Like, I think that's the only thing I can remember him in. And he does have that.
At first, I thought he was Lawrence Fishburne.
I really liked that. Like, it starts out with almost like a mystical kind of like explanation for why everything's happening, but then it just stops at a very personal level.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Like I mean, you want an explanation for why people could be doing these sorts of like inane, horrible actions, and you realize they're just humans. You know what I mean?
Midway through, you kind of feel like, well, I kind of felt like in the movie, like, is this going to take like some kind of
like spiritual turn?
Spiritual, demonic, kind of like possessed horror movie trope kind of escape. Like, oh, okay, she was possessed by this demon wolf, you know, and then they go into this whole fucking ghost shit or something, you know, like very horror movie trope. But they never went there. They just went to, no, these fucking people are just like
messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know that I think it expounds upon it once more again in the book. Like at the very end, like her character has more internal monologue in the book, and she's constantly talking about the child being wrong. Like, not necessarily bad, but like she like and I think they did talk about it a little bit in the movie, but in a very like terse, like compact situation where the wolves are eating their own cubs.
Oh yeah. That was
like
like symbolic, right, to what they did.
Yeah. So she understood that something was wrong with her child, and it's a lot of people actually think that her son was the one killing all the other kids instead of the wolves, which is why it was covered up.
That's why they show that one scene of her dad asking, or the dad asking the kid, like, "Oh, what'd you think about that?" And it was like a dead deer or whatever. It was like, I liked it a lot.
So a lot of the people think that it was actually the son. Like, she didn't want to pass on. She knew that both her and her husband were capable of great violence, and so was their son. So to start over again, she removes the son, brings the husband home, and they want to start it over again. Like, or at least that's what she wants. But in the book, she's actually pregnant at the very end of the book. Like, and she talks about maybe this one will be better.
Oh, so they set up for a sequel.
Okay.
Well, the book does, not so much the movie.
But my favorite. Oh no, go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so last thing I want to know, like your take on it or whatever, and maybe it might have some insight in the book, is so when Dude from Westworld is like in the cabin for the first night.
And I knew he was going to say the same thing. We're on the same brain right now.
So she puts on the wolf mask. He's just taking a bath. He's like, oh, he's listening to her. He's like, oh, it's cool. She puts on the mask. Everything's cool. And then she goes and fucking lays down next to him like it's no big deal. They're fucking laying on the couch together. And she's like, oh, choke me, daddy. Like, what the fuck? Like, they didn't have sex or anything, right? Like, it was.
No,
she said, choke me, daddy?
No.
She didn't say that, but it was like, that's the implication.
She goes,
like,
she
took his
choke
hand,
me,
like,
daddy.
That's sexual. 100%.
She's like, no, she's scouring herself in the bath. Like I mean, like till her skin is bleeding almost. Like with
you
the
can
heart.
see that?
Not you can't see it, but I mean that scene was very detailed in the book. Like it talks about like she's trying to get clean. Like, and I think that sentence is actually said in the movie several times. When she's first bringing Russell in, she goes, "This spring is a good place to get clean," and like in that scene of the thing, you can see her like going at it with like the brush on her back and on her arms.
I was really disappointed because when she lays next to him, she grabs her hand. She's naked, wearing a mask. I'm like, okay, she's naked. She lays down next to him, grabs his hand. He's an old ass man. And he's like, oh, what are you doing? And she grabs his hand. I'm like, damn, he's gonna put it on her titty. He'll put it on her titty. He's like, oh, nope, put it on the neck. I was like, well, choke the bitch then.
She's trying to feel
she's freaky.
like cleanness. Like I know it's kind of.
But like, what about the choking?
It was so confusing.
She wants to die. Like
shit.
Like I mean, isn't that the ultimate cleanness? Like I mean, how if you've lived a terminally bad life, how do you repay?
So I read there was some like symbolism between like the brother choking her at the end and like that was so confusing to me because like she's wearing a mask when you first see her, and then when she's in the bed she took off her mask for whatever the fuck reason. Either I missed that or it didn't happen. But then when like the brother at the end is choking her and she takes the mask, he's like, "Oh, just kidding, let's fuck." Like, you know what I mean? Like that was like a
just kidding.
Like
I think
dude, that movie was a fucking trip, man. It's
in
a
good
way. Kevin, you need to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it like as soon as I get home right now.
I think the mask is an excuse for their more animalistic behavior.
So that's like them putting on like the "I am a wolf." That they believe they're wolves. Like that's type of like. That's their like.
I don't think that
persona.
Furries, man.
Not a persona. It's like actually an escape from the persona that they've been living in.
Oh, another thing I didn't understand that you could maybe but touch light on is why did he go back to that place where he's like, I was here when I was once a kid?
Because once again expanded on more in the book. That the Indian hunter, he's actually they in at least Medora and Vernon's mind, the witch and the wolf hunter are the ones who are to blame for the
and they were
problem.
brother and sister, so they both were there probably.
Yeah, if in the book he says you look just like her, same fair hair, same features.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the father either knew about the incest or he had suspicions, and he tries to separate them.
That's what the wolf oil is going to like fix them.
They call them unnatural. So they're trying to like fix their kids. Like the father's doing everything he can. He goes, "Hey, I know my kids are kind of messed up. Like traditional stuff isn't working. Maybe I should rely on some of this like Indian medicine to kind of fix these kids." But when he goes back to the wolf hunter, like it's implied that the father like was either really abusive to them or that he was like trying to force them apart so violently that they kind of just like a rubber band, like you pull it so far and it's gonna snap. You know what I mean? And I think this was them snapping. So like he goes off to war. He doesn't know if he's good or evil. He's just straight up murking people, but then he decides to stop and save a native girl.
Yeah, the chicken rape.
Yeah, like,
that scene was fucking cool as fuck too.
Yeah, that was another good scene. Like I think she was one of the prettiest girls I've ever seen in cinema. Like I looked her up after. I have a thing for like blue eyes and dark skin. Shut up.
No, but dude, I loved how he fucking killed that dude. He
straight up
like,
on the.
Quack, quack, quack. I was like,
no.
Oh fuck! And then later in the movie, Ashley's like, why don't they fight him back? Also, did you see the way he killed that dude early? He straight up.
Yeah,
like,
I like how he killed him and then was like,
Here's
I understand you had
fucking
fucking pain. Do
beef.
your best. And he fucking emptied the gun. And he's like, do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't give a fuck.
I don't think they're necessarily bad. I think that's the animalistic part of them. Like
they're just like wolf mentality. Like,
yeah, you don't blame a wolf for killing a caribou, do you? Like, I mean, it's doing that to survive in nature, and I think it takes away from their humanity to explain them as animals.
So that explains why Westworld dude was trying to say like that's a wolf thing. I've seen other wolves eat their cubs because the pack mentality, like you have to survive the pack, like you're doing that.
All right, all in all, what do you rate it, Chris?
Fuck. After this conversation, like a 9 out of 10. Like it was a good flick. I would watch it.
It's something to talk about with your friends, most definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of different.
Man, that's the first 9 out of 10 Chris is given.
He always says 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm trying to diversify this season, so I'm gonna go a little up and down the scale.
I would say 9 out of 10 is good, but he's usually a 10 out of 10 giver.
Yeah, right. 9 out of 10 is not a good rating for.
Oh, I thought it was great. Now I feel terrible. No,
I'm breaking the mold this season.
I would say, my opinion, it was good, but I would give it 7.5. 7.5.
Okay. It's not a full movie. I want to say
it's
that
up there.
Yeah.
It's on the higher end of the ranking, but there was a lot missing there for me that I had to get from YouTube to explain.
So, with that being said,
yes.
Wrap it up.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna make our outro. We all appreciate you, Bird.
Yeah.
And,
homies, all of you.
Thank you for taking the time out, coming on the podcast.
This was a great conversation.
We will have you on again.
That was a great episode.
Yeah.
Season 2, baby. We kicked it off right.
Very good.
We do it, and we do it good.
This was episode 1, right?
Yeah.
Episode 1, season 2.
Well,
season 2.
I hope maybe this sets the tone for y'all's future podcast. Maybe just to be a little bit.
Look at the camera and say.
Don't care what people think. Just be honest with these guys because they're not going to judge you for it. And I appreciate that.
Hey,
right.
shout out Instagram or any handles you want to shout.
Bird is the name. You can find me, Jaden Taylor. You can find me if you look up Bird is the name.
Yeah.
So.
Bird is the name. And at this time, we will say.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.
Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.